Why are you so mad, bruh? But why are you so mad there, bruh? No, but seriously, hey, you beautiful buccaneers, Falcore here. So you probably know exactly what this is about given the thumbnail and the possible topic, but let's look at the calendar. Oh yeah, look, it's Wednesday again. That's been about 8 hours since something in the game has created a tidal wave of social media posts where two parties of people would much rather hurl abuse at each other than just talk about the changes and possibly provide some great feedback. No, that'd just be silly now, wouldn't it? But in this case, I can certainly relate to some people's disagreements with an upcoming patch. Or should I say, balance update. For those who don't know, poor Drew at Rare was forced once again by the overlords and escorted down the Green Mile to once again give us some controversial news so that he alone could bear responsibility for some hot topic changes and take a barrage of incoming rocks. The Blunderbuss, in an update coming soon, will no longer be able to take a player from 100% health to 0% health with one shot. Now, firstly, let me explain the full thinky thinks behind this change. Firstly, the Blunderbuss will still be able to give critical damage in close combat situations, dealing a massive 90% damage if all pellets land, but losing the ability to kill instantly. The payoff for this will come in the form of new knockback physics. Blundy 2.0 will now utterly yeet a player away from you and possibly send them flying to the mermaid. Finally, gee! However, the range has been significantly reduced for both damage and knockback, but bullet spread has been increased, which means you have to be whispering sweet nothings into the player's ears before you get 90% damage. But knockback can occur at its new long and mid range, which isn't very far. This is now shown to the player with a different VFX that occurs when firing the weapon, looking very similar to a cannonball shot with a large plume of smoke. Now, I can hear both sides of the argument in the crowd right now. The far southeast rejoicing that they'll never get one shot ever again and telling people to cope, and the far southwest screaming that it's removing the skill gap and catering towards newer unskilled players. But it's okay. Those people are like chihuahuas behind a glass door, all teeth and ear-piercing screams, but not really a dog, just a handbag accessory. Although I can fully understand the reasoning behind this new change, what with the harpoon gun coming in Season 14, which will make the boarding meta so easy you could accidentally sneeze and drop the anchor on a passing ship without even noticing, and given the fact that it can be, at times, incredibly irritating to be one-shot so quickly after a board or any player versus player encounter, I think it's entirely fair to say that in this era, I would say around the release of Season 3 up until today's date, the 14th of August 2024, the game is broken. Apart from a few limited cases where people say they have had no problems in PvP scenarios, which I'm going to chalk up as those people succeeding in their endeavors so they think everything's fine. By the way, quick tangent here, this is Smuggler's Bay, the largest island in Sea of Thieves, and this large line here is a representation of the hitbox for throwing knives. I genuinely hate saying this, but the game is in such a bad state now, with desyncs, stutters, ping issues, memory leaks, these fundamental problems that are in no way, shape or form new, that have been getting progressively worse for years now, are the main and only reason why so many people are getting so aggravated by the Blunderbuss. The gaming environment is so unstable at the moment that although from your perspective, Little Ned just one-shot you from across the ship, by Little Ned's perspective, he was stood right next to you, and then Little Ned probably gets reported for hacking. So although yes, I'm fully aware that Rare are trying to nail down these problems and keep the game running smoothly, I'm finding it really hard to understand why it's now they suddenly decided, hey, let's change the weapon meta. But let's be real here. The one shot from a Blunderbuss has never really been the main aggravation of this weapon. You get killed, you sigh, you go through the ferry doors, and you're back to fight again. The real aggravation comes from the Blunder's ability to knock you back, often resulting in you flying in the water and being put into what we like to call mermaid hell, because you most likely have at least one ship near pointing the opposite direction and the mermaid is too busy taking a siesta. And now they're increasing the knockback. In a game environment where the Blunderbuss already knocks you back when it shouldn't, given the amount of backtracking and desync in the game at the moment, Pirate Lord have mercy. Now, you could say, given that the harpoon gun is coming in Season 14, you could utilize this in your setup to get the reboard if this should occur, which will be all the time, given the new mechanics and the desync, rubber banding, backtracking. Anyway, in fact, wait, what am I thinking? The harpoon gun and the blunder is the optimum setup if you really think about it. Killing players is never the best thing to do when locking down a vessel. It's much better to get them in the water and remove their ability to reboard or take the mermaid. But wait, if they have the harpoon, Oh no. Basically, Season 14 is going to have every single person in the game with a harpoon gun and a blundy, and naval will become a thing of the past and we'll just be playing Super Smash Bros. On our ships all the time, even though it's a badass game. You see the problem here? One shot, although can be very annoying, has only become a problem due to the game's instability. If you get too close to a player and get one shot from the blundy, then that's your fault, you idiot. But with the game's current instability, it's entirely impossible to determine whether that player is directly in front of you or not. Now, imagine that with knockback. You cannot fix this problem by removing that ability, and then focusing on its more aggravating meta of yeeting you off your ship like a pinball machine. Although these changes won't affect me directly, being that I'm a sniper pistol or a sniper sword main, depending on the circumstance of course, it is however negatively going to impact the frustration of player versus player combat more so than being one shot. Harpoon gun aside. And please don't moan in the comments about the harpoon gun so much, we haven't even seen how it's going to be implemented yet, apart from a very clickbaity unfinished showcase segment. But there you go, there's my thoughts for what it's worth. Don't be afraid to stick your thoughts down in the comments below, but also guys, if somebody disagrees with your opinion, try to remember that an opinion is called an opinion because an opinion isn't actually based on facts, it's someone's opinion. You can't change someone's opinion, so what's the point in arguing about it? Let's just try to talk like adults and stuff. Thank you. But before I go, this is planet Earth, and this is Mars. And this line here represents the hitbox of throwing knives.
Well, Blunderbuss, you be silly, you can't one-shot no more. But at least we'll get friendly with mermaids. Good luck getting back on your ship.